Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with your Tarot Talk Tuesday. Uh, Today we are covering the Five of Cups. I want to, first of all, apologize for the last Tarot Talk Tuesday. I left out a vital part of our tradition here on Tarot Talk Tuesdays by not doing the pictorial key of the tarot. And shame on y'all for not calling me out. I thought for sure somebody would have been like, good video overall, but you left out our grandest tradition of ragging on AE Weight and how you totally disagree with something or other that he has said in the pictorial key of the tarot. Um, but yeah, shame on all of us, I guess. Whatever, we're all in this together. So let's go ahead and get on into this. First, I'm going to bring up the image. There we go. And then we are going to bring up our pictorial key of the tarot. There we go. Okay, so A.E. Waite says, a dark cloaked figure looking sideways at three prone cups. Two others stand upright behind him. A bridge is in the background, leading to a small keep or holding. Divinatory meanings. It is a card of loss. Something remains over. Three have been taken, but two are left. It is a card of inheritance, patrimony, transmission, but not corresponding to expectations. With some interpreters, it is a card of marriage, but not without bitterness or frustration. Reversed. News, alliances, affinity, uh, consanguinity. I'm not sure of that word, sorry. Ancestry, return, false projects. This one I can kind of agree with him on this one. I don't know if I would say it's really a marriage. This to me is the card of spilt milk. You're focusing on what you don't have rather than turning around and seeing what you do. But let's get into that. Let's go ahead and go away. Wait. Let's go ahead and make this bigger. There we go. Okay. Now, let's go into our notes and let's look at some things here. So, for one, as A.E. Waite says, we do have that bridge there. The bridge can cross over to a better life, a better way of being. It's crossing the river. It's going on to greener pastures. The area is better on the other side. The grass is always greener on the other side, type of thing. But to me, what always pops out to me is the way that he is mourning or he, she, they are mourning the three overturned cups. And they seem to be in a depressed state. They are mourning the loss of the three cups rather than paying attention to what they do have. It's one of those situations where, you may not have, you know, uh, let's say you lose your job. You may not have your job, but you have your health. And, you may be in a crap job, but hey, you have a job. That instead of looking at the brighter side of things, you're looking at the lesser side of things, which is a lot easier to point out. Getting into the notes here. Uh, One, you are focusing on what has gone wrong and aren't focusing on what is still good and within your reach. These are things that are attainable. These are things that you can do by yourself or within your means, that you're able to get them done. The next one that I have is, this can be that you're stuck in the past. You won't let yourself let something go. You may feel like a victim of circumstance. While this may be true, You, at some point, need to let go of the pity party and move on. And by this, I mean, like, there's certain things that, yes, um, you need to process, you need to go through. There are times uh, of grieving, of grief, and yes, you need to go through those. That is a healthy psychological thing to do. Talk to a therapist, talk to a doctor. Take the necessary steps to make sure that you are well. However, if you are holding on to a grudge with somebody because they stole your pencil case in the second grade, at a certain point, you gotta let that go. You can be like, yeah, I'm a little sad that I lost it, but you know what? It wasn't the end of the world. That type of thing. Um, these are just for instances, but at a certain point, the petty stuff has to go away. You have to get past that. So, this to me is that type of card where you need to kind of let that thing go and focus on what you do have and what is within your reach, what is attainable to you. The next one I have is this can also be calling you towards forgiveness or doing uh, cord cutting so these past events aren't having this effect on you. This could also be calling you to forgive yourself. When this is the case, keep in mind what your thought process was at the time and that hindsight is always 2020. So, this is the instance of, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have, uh, gone this route and everything. But you know what? In the moment, you had the best of intentions. With the things that you were going on, you were taking the best route possible for you. And you were, you know, you were thinking the clearest that you could have with the information that you had available. One thing that comes to mind is if you've ever read Colin Powell's book, R.I.P. Colin Powell. um, he talks about in there, the book It Worked for Me. He talks about in there about going into the Iraq War, and how they went on certain information that they found out later that wasn't correct information. They went on bad intelligence, um, that was all gotten by the same source and turned out to be false intelligence. And looking back, knowing what we know now of what wasn't happening, we should not have gone there. However, once we were there, we had a duty to the people of the Iraqi people. And let me tell you that many of them are very happy that we went. I've spoken to them and all that. And I'm not going to get into the politics of it. Overall, we should not have been there. However, the information that we had at the time, yes, I can see why we went. And I can understand that. But, this is that type of situation, forgiving yourself or forgiving others with the information that you had at the time or that they had at the time, you can understand why the thought process was the way it was. Now, flip side to that is with that situation is that they knew that the information was not credible. And they were reaching a deadline, all that stuff. It's in the book. You should you can get it on Audible and all that. I do suggest getting it on Audible because Colin Powell reads it, and he just has a very a very great voice to listen to. Anyway, um, let's see. Next note that I have: keep in mind that there are opportunities awaiting for you if you turn around and notice them. Again, going back to the first point of things that are in your reach if you only look. These are things such as if you're pulling this card, and say it's for a finance type of reading, like a general finance reading. These are things that, you may look at the three cups and you're like, you know what, I gambled away this money, and that was a bad idea. But you turn around and you're like, hey, there's this job opportunity that I could really be great at. You're not really noticing the good things that are there because you're too busy focusing on the bad things that are happening within your sphere, your life. So that is what I have for the upright. Some things I want to notice before we get to the reverse here is I want to note that there are these three cups, and there are red liquids and there are green liquids that are coming out of this cup. Now, I don't really know what to think of that, and I would very much like to hear from y'all if you can tell me, what do you decipher from the liquids coming out of these cups? And notice that we don't see the liquids in the other two cups. I think that's important to note. We don't know if they are full. It is a presumption that they are full, but we don't really have any knowledge of their the amount that they're actually filled with, if they are even in fact full of anything. I also want to note the little castle, the fortress in the background. We do have some trees over there. It looks like a little bit more lush of an area, but not like an oasis, but still someplace that is fortifying. So I do want to note that as well. Going into the reverse. The reverse of this card is more introspective than what it is in the upright version. You may be feeling shame about failures that have happened in your life. This may be calling you to seek help for these feelings. Therapy is a good thing that should be normalized. If you are going through these introspective times where you're really beating yourself up because of the things that you have done or that have been done to you, that have impacted you in any way, shape, or form, if you are really cloistering up where normally you are an extroverted type of person, then you may want to seek out a therapist or doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, what have you. Again, mental health needs to be a normalized thing, and I am here in your corner trying to vie for that. So, yes, I think we should normalize, going to a therapist and making that a normal thing. The next thing that I have here, you may be realizing the unfolding of past actions. It is important to remember that you cannot undo the past, so you need to make peace with that and what you can change. The future is still out there. The future is still out there, so pay attention to what you can change to take an active part in that future. If we are constantly focused on past actions and past selves and what we did and how we were in the past, then we never really live in the future. We never really get into who we are or who we are meant to be. We don't progress to our better selves. And this is the card of that. In my mind, this is a card of, what? Sometimes you have to make peace with it. For instance, my personal life, I've shared this plenty of times. I used to be very evangelical, and I was not the greatest person. I was very mean to a lot of individuals, and one of my best friends that I consider today is a person that I constantly got into debates with and fights with over religion and what was right and wrong and whatnot. And looking back, she sees that I've changed, and she sees that I'm a better person, that I'm living a better life, and we get along. We let our past actions be in the past, and we've progressed into the future where, we may not talk every day, but when we do talk, it's like for like 3 hours. And that is, we talk a couple times a year, and it'll be for like 3 hours each time, and we catch up on everything and everyone, and all that stuff, and we have a fun time. We don't always get to see each other because we're in different states, but that's the type of thing. Whenever you let past actions be the past and progress to a better future, is that you get to live a a better life, a better version of yourself. So that was a fairly short video. I don't have any other notes here. So yes, that is all that I have for the Five of Cups. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I do want to give a shout out to our Patreon patrons, Linda and Sophia. Thank you, Linda and Sophia, for being founders for the Christo-Pagan church that we are starting. Again, we're going to put that on hold for right now, but we will get to it in the future. And any of the funds that come in from the Patreon or whatnot are going to go towards getting the website all secured and everything, so there's not spam in the forums, and getting it to be a place where we can really be a community and whatnot. So if you would like to be a Patreon patron, go into the description box down below, hit that little, Patreon Patreon link, and go there, and you can be a founder for as little as $5 a month. What else? What else? What else? If you cannot afford that, I totally understand. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That helps out the channel. Hit that bell notification so you can always catch a video, because YouTube be YouTubing, and hit that like button, because, well, that helps the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. We have not said that in a while. So, yeah, do all those things and share the video to like-minded individuals that will benefit from this video or any of the videos that I do. So, with all that being said, I think that's all that I have for today. And until next time, catch me on Thursday for our Table Talk Thursday. I'm going to record it here in just a minute. And until then, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye.